Hello, dear children. Grandma Shirin here with another very interesting story. Today, the story is by the title of Flight for Life. Did you ever have to run? Sometimes there's a wild dog running behind you, and then how do you run? Very fast, and sometimes your breath is also okay. This is exactly what we are going to learn. What happened to the great Israelite leader Moses? Okay, we know that after he was 12 years old, he went to live in the palace of Pharaoh with the mother, the princess, who had adopted him as her own son. So there we learn that he learned so many things. And when he had graduated, he remembered that he is not an Egyptian, he is a Hebrew. And he was thinking always, how can I deliver the Israelites from the slavery? Because his mother had told how the Egyptians had been so cruel with the Israelites. And whenever he was on his bed, he was thinking. He had so many plans going in his mind. Should I do this way? Should I do that way? But everybody in the palace, they loved Moses because he was too good. He was well equipped, well trained, and very respectful, and everybody was so kind to him. And wherever Moses went, people would bow down and greet him, and everybody wanted to do something good for him. We call it flattery. They wanted to be the most kind to him so that he will show them favors. Yes, but Moses, knowing all that he had, the money, the big house, those times, the best ride, the chariots, the horses, everything, you name it, and he was the owner, and he was going to be the next king. So he could have been proud on whatever he had, but no, his heart was always with his people, the Hebrew people who were suffering. So one day, early in the morning, he walked out of the palace, and quietly he took his chariot and he went alone. People thought the prince is going to see how the people are doing, but his mind was thinking something else. He was thinking how the Hebrews are doing. And so he moved his chariot to the place called Goshen. That is where the Israelites were living. And he moved to a street which was a bit lonely, and he saw one slave, one Israelite, one Hebrew was working, and the slave master was beating him with the flog, with the, I told you, leather belt, and he was beating and beating and beating, and this man was crying and yelling. The more he was crying, the more the slave master was beating him. And that's the time Moses got angry. Immediately he leaped out of his chariot and he hit the Egyptian on his face like that, big blow. And with one big blow, because Moses was trained as a soldier as well, so with his one blow, the Egyptian slave master or the officer, he fell down on the ground and he died on the spot. And when the Israelite, the Hebrew, whom this man was beating, he saw it, he got so scared, he ran away. Other Hebrews, that, the prince, he came and he hit the man who was beating me, and I have run so that he might not beat me also. And when Moses saw nobody is around, you know what he did? Quickly, he moved the sand and he dumped the dead body in the sand and covered it nicely. Nobody could imagine. And the Hebrew boy whom he had saved, he was watching, hiding and watching. And he told this news to others also. And Moses went home. He was thinking, I have done good. Now with my mighty hand, I will deliver the Israelites from the Egyptians. And he was thinking the Hebrews will be so good, so happy. The news will be spread among all the Hebrews and they will be happy that their deliverer has come. Little did he know that deliverance does not come through a man. It's God only who can deliver. And it would be God's mighty hand that would deliver the Israelites from the slavery, from the bondage. So he went and he was thinking more plans, what I will do. Next morning, again he took his chariot and headed toward where Israelites were working. And he saw this time that two Hebrew boys were fighting with each other. One was bullying him and the other one was being beaten. And he recognized these are not Egyptians, these are Hebrews. He told them kindly, he said, hey, you are two brothers. How come you are fighting with each other? Forgive each other and don't fight. The one who was bullying, he turned back to Moses. He said, hey man, who put you in charge over us? You are not our master. How come you are asking us like this? And then he said, next sentence was very dangerous. He said, you want to kill me also like you killed the Egyptian yesterday? And Moses, he was sweating. He said, so the news is spread. And then he thought, this news must have gone in the court as well, because that was a special officer of the Pharaoh. And when he went back to the court, he heard people whispering. And he came to know that the news was gone to King Pharaoh. And Pharaoh was very angry with Moses. He wanted to punish him. And the punishment was death. And so he thought, oh my God, before the news spreads more, I must leave from here to save my life. And we don't know who helped him escape. It seems that his adopted mother, the princess, she must have helped him to leave the courts and to leave the palace. And he ran as fast as he could. Just like a mad dog is behind you. So he was running and panting for breath. Like that. And day and night he spent running. In the night he would sleep just on the ground looking at the stars and crying, Lord, I have made a mistake. I shouldn't have been so rash. I shouldn't have killed. I should have waited for your plans. But then he went to the place called Midian. That was the place very far where people did not know anything about Moses, and it was a quiet place. So he came to rest on a well. And at the well, he saw 7 girls coming with the sheep. And he said, oh my, thank God, after so many days I have seen human beings. And these girls said, we have come to feed water to our sheep. And he said, okay, I will help you. So he was helping them, pulling the water from the well and putting it in that trough for the sheep to drink. And they went early home. And the father said, oh, you have come home so early? They said, yes, one stranger helped us to fetch water from the well. and our sheep are well fed. So we came home. He said, "You are so rude. You should bring him and he should eat in our home and take a rest." So they went home, they went back to the well and they said, "Sir, our father is calling you. We are sorry we did not invite you." So they invited him, and from that time onward, Moses was feeding the sheep of Jethro, the father of the 7 sisters. And while he was taking care of the sheep, he learned the lesson of humility. He learned that we should not be rash, we should be humble. God loves humble people. And he learned the lesson that it's not with my mighty hand, but with the mighty hand of God, his people will be delivered. Okay? We will see, we will hear another interesting story next time. Till then, you wait patiently and Grandma loves you. Bye bye.